Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Welcome, everyone, to another dreadful, miserable, terrible edition of I'll Hang Up and Listen. Sabres lose to Carolina 6-2. Malcolm Subban got pumped for 6 goals before eventually leaving the game with an injury, bringing in Aaron Dell, who made 4 saves and 4 shots. Subban in his debut, 19 saves and 25 shots against. Not a very good outing, but he didn't really get a lot of help in front of him. I'm getting on here kind of late tonight because I wanted to listen to Granato's post-game presser. He's very always articulate with the way he speaks, and he always has good things to say. The way not good things to say, but the way he explains things, and he goes into things with detail, and he doesn't really give you any BS answer the way we used to hear from like Ralph Kruger, who was just kind of like a snake charmer with the way he talked. Same buzzword answers. It was just annoying to listen to Ralph's post-game press conferences. But not a good game, not a good performance from top to bottom. One thing that Granato said is, we got to start sustaining 60 minutes, which I think we all can agree. We haven't seen a 60-minute effort from this team in quite some time. It's been abysmal, to say the least. And here's the thing why I'm not worried is because you are seeing the strides forward in your core players. Right, what you want to say about Rasmus Dahlin. I am not worried about Rasmus Dahlin. I'm really not. I don't care what the analytics say. The kid is on his 3rd head coach in 4 years. He's came in the league at 18 years old as an offensive dynamo defenseman. And yeah, he's going to struggle defensively. It's going to happen. On that giveaway on the power play, that's just as much on Victor Olofsson as you could say you put it on Rasmus Dahlin. He threw a terrible pass into his skates. He couldn't handle it right away, get it onto his stick, and then it's all of a sudden going down the other way. And then where is the rest of your team there? By the way, the broadcast nailed him to the cross too. Where the hell is the rest of your team there? Why is there a second opportunity after a shorthanded breakaway where he was able to cradle the puck, take a look, and then you had a guy coming up the gut uncontested? That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm sorry, it's unacceptable. The whole team gave up on that play. I don't care what anyone says, they gave up. That's unacceptable. Every team gives up shorthanded chances. Every team makes mistakes on power plays, but to literally give little to no effort to get back into the play and back check to take away that second opportunity, which ended up in the back of your net, is a joke. Let's talk about the first goal. Pysyk mishandles the puck behind the net. Couldn't maintain possession. You have Dahlin on the opposite side, hoping for a pass, like a D-to-D pass coming back to him. And nobody is contesting the guy coming up the middle. He's just up there alone. Where are your forwards? You don't have possession of the puck. Why aren't you in the zone, back checking, providing support down low? Where are you? That's not just issues with your defense. That's your issues with 5-man unit as a whole. And that's been a thing for weeks, is your 5-man units aren't playing together as a team. Too often you have guys leaving the zone before you even have full possession of the puck. You are losing so many battles in the neutral zone. You aren't back checking hard enough. Everything that was going right for this team in the first 10 games of the season isn't going right now. You really just got to, go back to the drawing board and fix things and go back to keeping it simple. Which is, I think, where you could see a guy like Rasmus Dahlin maybe turn his game around a little bit. Keeping things more simple, not putting too much on himself because of who he is and the minutes he's playing, and attempting to be this defensive. He's not that. He's just not. And I've always been an advocate that sometimes the best way to play defense is to play offense. And when you maintain possession of the puck, you can drive play and you can contribute to the rush consistently, like that's going to help your team defensively, because regardless if you're maintaining possession of the puck in their end, you're keeping the puck off the opponent's stick. You're not playing defense in your own end, and we're just playing too much hockey in our own end. That's just the way it is. We're not driving play right now. It sucks. But it's true. Again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be an analytics guy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a guy who knows everything about Corsi and Fenwick, and I'm just not. I know. I'm a novice. Admittedly so. I'm like a novice when it comes to that. But you can see it on the ice. You see it. They're not able to maintain possession in the offensive zone long enough to even really consistently create chances. Your neutral zone play is absolutely abysmal. You lose too many battles in between the blue lines. It's a fact. Just watch the game. And again, you're just not getting the goaltending you need to be successful. Again, as nice as Craig Anderson was to start the season, he is not on an NHL roster if it's not for the Buffalo Sabres. Aaron Dell is not on an NHL roster if it's not for the Buffalo Sabres. Dustin Tokarski is not on an NHL roster if it's not for the Buffalo Sabres. Malcolm Subban isn't on a roster if it's not for the Buffalo Sabres. That's your goaltending right now. Everything was very reliant on a 40-year-old goaltender to really keep you guys competitive. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. But again, that's what this team was supposed to be this year. You weren't supposed to be a team that was going to win a ton of games. A team that was going to battle. You were giving younger guys more opportunities than they've gotten in the past. Your Tage Thompson, your Casey Middlestats, your Dahleeds, you're giving them more ice time and better opportunities that were given to your Jack Eichels, your Sam Reinhart's before this. You're allowing these kids to grow through opportunity and through struggle. There's going to be struggles. Every single player on this roster will and has struggled this season. I think it's been more prevalent over the last 3 weeks with Dahlin than anything, and I get it. The guy has not been good in his own end, but it's a different animal when you try and develop a forward than it is a defenseman. They just take longer. You look at any defenseman and their comparables. And again, I don't know the analytics. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to. But guys like Ekblad, Victor Hedman, Morgan Riley, those guys all took a while to really come into their own. Right around their 5th season. So if I'm judging Rasmus Dahlin, I am judging him next year when the team around him isn't built to lose. You have a goaltender who's going to be able to bail you out with a save here and there. We haven't had that since Ryan Miller. I don't care what anyone says. Robin Lehner had his moments here in Buffalo, but obviously he was dealing with his own issues. So he wasn't able to be a guy that could go out there and consistently be a phenomenal starting goaltender for you. And I love Robin Lehner. I do. But this team also in front of him wasn't built to be a sustainable, successful hockey team. It's just facts. And that's what you get when you have the kind of turnover at head coach and GM in 10 years. 6 head coaches and 4 GMs in 10 years is a joke. It's a joke. And that goes to your ownership and their inability to make the right hires. It's very disconcerting. But this is the first time, honestly, in 10 years, I felt this team finally has direction and purpose and is going to stick to a plan. And I think Granato is the right guy to lead this team with that plan. He's an unbelievable guy when it comes to player development. You've already seen it so far with the turnaround with Tage Thompson and what Rasmus Asplund's done this season and what he's gotten out of Casey Middlestat, what the player he's turned Casey into. Victor Olofsson is probably the best example you have. The 5-on-5 turnaround you've had with Victor Olofsson. You look at that, and I know because the thing that separates those guys from a guy like Rasmus Dahlin, because I'm sorry, Dahlin's talent compared to them is up here. The talent is there. It is. So let's just pump the brakes and give Granato that full season with him and let him figure it out. And I really do believe he will. I do. So that's just my opinion on that. Their next game, I believe, is a few nights away. checking the schedule here. Let me check it out. I want to say their next home game is against the Anaheim Ducks. I know that. Let's check it out here. Yep, their next game is Tuesday against the Anaheim Ducks, a home game. A game I think I might be going to. Then Friday against the Rangers, and then Alex Ovechkin comes into Buffalo Saturday on December 11th. Stay tuned to Two Goalies, One Mike. We will have former Washington Capitals goalie and one of the fan favorites, former Vezina Trophy winning goaltender Olaf Kolzig, should be joining the show on the 10th. So keep an eye out for that. We'll preview that game on the 11th. A lot of little mistakes ended up in the back of Buffalo's net tonight. And one thing Granato said in his presser is that first goal came way too easy, and it did. It did. You can't, as a forward group, you can't just not back check there and pick up that guy coming up the gut. I'm sorry, like Mark Pysyk can't, give up the puck there. He can't. And you have Dahlin on the other side waiting for that pass to bail him out, and then you have literally nobody covering the front. Nobody. Not a single forward is back. That's a joke. That's unacceptable. When is Craig Anderson coming back? Right now, Rakeen, he is month to month. So I have a feeling that you are not going to see Craig Anderson coming back. I think this might be the end of his career, unfortunately. And I've always been a huge fan of Craig Anderson. I wanted the Buffalo to sign him in the past as like veteran backup to Linus Ullmark when we did have Ullmark. Unfortunately, it never happened, and we got him in a year where, again, a team that's not really built to win, built to compete but not to win. And of course, he gets injured. Not too sure what the timeline is, but maybe we get him for a few games at the end of the season. But month to month doesn't sound very promising. But we'll see. So, goal scorers tonight were both Zemgus Girgensons on a nice tip from the point, and then Henry Jokiharju gets on the board as well. And it's just, a lot of Carolina taking advantage of our simple mistakes and, capitalize on them, and us not taking advantage of any of the mistakes that they were making. And it was a tough game to watch. It really, really was. Again, final 6-2. Carolina Hurricane goal scorers are Trocheck, who ended up getting a match penalty on the Tage Thompson hit. It's nice to see Tage come back into the game and end up not being hurt. I forgot to mention him earlier. Another prime example of Granato turning, developing and turning a player around is Tage Thompson. Nino Niederreiter with a goal and assist. Teravainen, 2 goals. Ian Cole, a goal. And then Nikas with a goal. And then Antti Ranta with 32 saves and 34 shots. We just need, you also just, when you're trying to sustain offensive pressure, you have to, capitalize on your high danger chances. And Buffalo didn't have a ton of high danger chances tonight. Normally I would be freaking out, and normally I'd be losing my mind right now. But the fact of the matter is, this team, I'm not going to get too crazy critical of this team, because of when you look up and down the roster, you see a lot of guys who maybe with what they've done this year, they might earn themselves like an NHL roster, or maybe like a 2-way contract next year. Your Vinny Hinostrozas. You also have Will Butcher on this team, who's been pretty much next to useless. Cody Eakin, he's been a little bit of a surprise. He's had his moments this year, but Mark Pysyk, that guy's not going to move the needle forward for you, especially next season. I'm not even sure what his contract looks like. And just, again, you have a lot of guys here on league minimum deals. And, I don't expect a lot of these faces to be in this lineup next year. I do expect to see guys like J.J. Paterka, Jack Quinn, maybe Peyton Krebs up in the lineup. Maybe we see Owen Power, depending on how he feels about the direction of the team and what's best for his development, because we all saw that he felt that. And I was a huge advocate of him staying in college. I wouldn't even be against him staying in college again next year. I know people will be scared that he might take the route and go to I want him in Buffalo next year, but at the same time, you know, I don't know if management doesn't feel like he's ready or if, he doesn't want to come yet. I mean, that's completely up to him. I think that if he wins a national title though this year, even if he does, I think he still goes pro. I don't want to rush players right now. I really, really don't. I don't want to rush a guy like Owen Power to get here just because we're so desperate for talent on our blue line. I just don't want to do that, even though I think he's ready. I think he's definitely ready to make the jump as early as next season. That's just my opinion. I'm sure there are many people out there who agree with me. There might be some people that don't agree with me. But I also don't want to rush him. So, again, we'll see what happens. But that being said, again, Sabres don't play till Tuesday. They welcome Trevor Zegras and the Ducks into Buffalo. I believe that might be an ESPN Plus game. So make sure you subscribe to ESPN Plus to even watch it. Hopefully we get Bucci in Buffalo again. You know how much he loves the city of Buffalo. Maybe you can get a few pints with him downtown Buffalo if you guys head to the game. I'm sure he'll always oblige a free beer. With that being said, though, guys, I'll hang up and listen. I am not going to take up too much of your time. I know I kind of got in here kind of late tonight. Again, I wanted to watch the Don Granato press conference. But pretty much to recap that, it was just, you have a team that made a lot of little mistakes today that ended up in the back of your net, and you just couldn't take advantage of Carolina's mistakes. And the skill and the talent level was really prevalent for Carolina over Buffalo tonight. The way they were able to move the puck, our power play has been abysmal too. By the way, it's been an absolute joke. So that needs to be fixed too, because that's going to help you win games as well. Being able to dominate on special teams, which is something that Buffalo was doing to start the season, and it's just been really non-existent the past few games. You really need to fix that power play. I don't think Victor Olofsson looks like the same guy right now. I still think he might be kind of nursing this injury that he had. I still think that he's a little hesitant to really let it go when he shoots the puck, because I just haven't seen the same zip on his shot that we're used to seeing. It's disappointing. But when he gets healthy and this team, as of right now, we're made to believe that he is healthy. He just, there's just something more to be desired there with Victor Olofsson, especially, from his spot on the power play. He just doesn't seem like he's playing with that same intensity, shooting with that same intensity. But, we'll see. Another thing Granato said was that, one of the positives, the silver linings you take out is these guys, when they make mistakes, they realize what the mistakes are, and they're correcting them. They're willing to correct, not willing, they're correcting them. They don't need to be, the horse doesn't need to be led to water and, made to go in. They know what they're doing wrong, and they're going to make the adjustments, and they're going to fix it. And that's what I like when I listen to Granato, is just like, he's very honest and very forthcoming with his answers. And, I believe when he says that, and I watch, you see the players in this team that have really turned their careers around under Don Granato, and you have to believe it. You have to believe that he's not bullshitting you. Like, these kids aren't just going to go home and take a few days off. They're going to be watching film. They're going to be, on the ice, maybe on their own time, or, maybe, in a voluntary practice, maybe on Monday or something like that. And just, really working on fixing the issues that, ended up with 6 goals in the back of their net tonight, and with them only scoring twice. So, but again, guys, I will hang up and listen. I don't want to, again, for the second time saying this, take up too much of your time tonight. I know most of you probably won't even see this until tomorrow, just because, again, I got on here kind of late tonight. So with that being said, guys, I'll hang up and listen. Remember, this is brought to you by Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. And, we will talk to you later, and let's go Sabres.